I'm glad to be here. Thank you for this invitation. My name is Elizabeth. You forget about the president thing, that's her thing.
Hey, hello guys, it's Radofin here, and I have my friend here. She's Elizabeth, and I'm honored to be with her. She's a president. Yeah, we have a church ministry in church, and she's the one who leads us. And so maybe I can give her this opportunity to say hi.
Hi, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for this invitation. My name is Elizabeth. You forget about the president thing, that's her thing. Elizabeth, I'm a mother of 3, I'm married, I'm in business. Yeah, and we'll get to discuss more. Thank you for having me.
Okay, welcome. And by the way, I'm so honored for accepting this invite. I'm very honored even for you giving me this time. We sit down and we talk. And today we want to talk about fear. Yes, that's what we want to talk about, because sometimes fear is a hindrance. Yes, like for me, I think I battle with fear every day. Yeah, especially in such a platform, putting myself out there, always like it's never easy, and I struggle with fear. So I thought we should, for you, like you have experience, yeah, in like public forums. So maybe we should just talk about that. And yes,
I think everyone has fears and concerns. Well, some will call them concerns, some will call them fears, but nobody can say they have no fears. If you want to put up a house, you will have concerns, put fears. Whether will you finish the house, supposing I don't get the finances to finish the house, whether we'll have enough security. So what I've realized, every step you take, there are concerns that you can actually, they can paralyze you, and now you allow them to paralyze you. I think the best way is just evaluating, assessing, of course, and then evaluate, and then you pick where you feel you best fit, where nobody can punch you and make you quit. Because then if you told me to go to music and start singing, however enticing it can be, if someone punches me and tells me you're not singing well, I'll shrink very fast and withdraw. But if it's my line of engagement of sharpening the girls, speaking to them about the space called marriage, I have no fears, because I know what I'm talking about, I know the issues I'm addressing. So I think that's how you will be able to manage your fears. Know your strength, work on them, definitely polish on your weaknesses, because we are human, all of us have weaknesses, polish on them, and allow yourself time to progress. Bearing in mind, as you progress, you're not everybody's sweetheart. Nobody. I am yet to meet someone who is loved 100%, accepted 100%. So then you've got to understand that some critics will simply come to punch you so that you either slow down or you stop. Those are the things you need to be very conscious about. Are they criticizing me because it is worth? Are they criticizing me to paralyze me? Once you isolate that, then you're able to say, no, I can progress, or I can make adjustments and improvements.
Wow,
yes,
that is very good. Pastor, I don't know whether you know him. He's called Reverend Kula, and there is a statement he usually says in his church or in his speech that this is not the time to sit at the corner and be invisible. No, it's the time to like you be seen and you be heard. And for me, that keeps me going, because we have so many opportunities, but if you allow your fears to put you down, you never do anything. So like for me, that has been helping me even to soldier on, because at the end of the day, we have life, we have to, and we want to pursue our goals. So that one has been keeping me moving. Yes, so I don't know what else we talk about.
I think it's there's something I always tell myself. Once you're starting out something, and especially if you're trying to market yourself out there, besides facing fear, you've got to allow yourself time for people to accept your product that you're carrying, especially if you're offering a service. It's harder to sell a service than a product, because a product people can see, it's a phone, it's a car, it's a shoe, it's a dress. A service is someone is trusting you that you deliver up to their expectations, and it is usually a little bit harder to convince. So what it needs time. Give yourself time. I mean, time is key. Today one person accepts you and you're like, for the next 4 or 5 months, nobody seems to have an idea of who you are, what you're doing. But then with time, you build that and you give yourself the hope that tomorrow will be a better day. And eventually, you'll even be marketed by those that thought you're not good enough for this space. So it's good to give yourself time. Rome was not built in a day. That is usually one of the things I have come to realize, man, because yes, time, patience, and consistency. Those ones will get there.
Wow, like having this program for cooking, and when we started, I decided that I'm going to be taking the videos for the lessons, maybe for future references, or even for other women who can be looking back at them and seeing what we were doing in class. And lately I've been having really positive feedback. You see other women, they really like the videos, and they have really liked those videos, and they are telling me keep on. So I was thinking, what if I feared and I did not take those videos? You know, I could have lost such a very big and good opportunity, even to help others. So maybe we could talk about types of fear.
I think there is good and bad fear. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of. Now that kind of fear, I call it good. Good fear is definitely what keeps you away from danger and from harm. If you fear catching a cold, you'll take precaution. You'll wear a sweater, dress warmly. But then there's a bad fear, which basically comes to paralyze you and keeps you in a comfort zone of, I don't want to be hurt, I don't want to be criticized. And so you never make a step or an attempt. And the unfortunate bit is that as we progress, definitely each one of us is growing. This is where you get to where Miles Monroe says that you get to the grave and realize the grave is the richest place, because someone never stepped out to give to the world what was deposited because of fear. And each one of us, we have a unique deposit that was deposited in us by God. What is that was deposited in your heart? Is it baking? Is it public speaking? Is it inspiring people? You know, different giftings. There's so many. We are so many in the world, and apparently, hakuna mahali God alifika akasema, now I'm limited, so I don't know what to do with this particular age or this particular gap of people. So each one of us has that thing that has been, but you have to first believe in yourself that I can do this, I can deliver, because you speak to yourself. There's a book I read. It says success is not an accident, and they say if you cannot believe in yourself first, if you cannot believe that I am good enough to do this, don't expect the other person to believe that you're good enough. So overcome your fears and speak to yourself and keep challenging and speaking. It's called self-talk. Self-talk to yourself and say, I'm good at this, I am good at this and this. It's not pride. He says it's positive self-talk, because what you say, you start to internalize. I'm good for nothing. Then you start to internalize, I am good for nothing. Then you sit back and you stop really challenging yourself to take the next step. So do lots of, I have realized a lot of positive talk to myself is very important. And especially when you're sure you're going to face people that probably may challenge what you're just about to do. Because the service industry, like you go to weddings, you realize you have an MC who thinks you should do things this way, then you have somebody else who thinks you should do things this way, and it can be so draining because there's no script, especially in that. It's not like a movie where it's not like a cake I have to deliver, it's a service I'm delivering. So I have to constantly tell myself, you're good at this, you can deliver, do it your best way. That's what has worked for me.
Wow, that's very good. And okay, there is a statement I've been seeing in the social media that sometimes it's not only about talent, but it's about consistency.
Very true.
Yes, you might not be good at something, but doing it over time, you get it. And I think that is so powerful.
Today I was talking about consistency somewhere in the morning, and consistency, the best way you can define and bring out consistency is I'm a little bit of a fitness lover, so let me give that example. There are times I don't want to even lift my leg at all. But when I remember the end result and the benefits I have reaped from my continuous working out, then I drag myself and eventually do that which I need to do. Consistency requires also discipline, because then you not say I am consistent when I'm on the high. I am more consistent when I'm even at my lowest, because that discipline keeps me at the place of me, I love walking. I mean, the sun is very hot. By 5:30 the sun inakaa kama ni saa 7. Do I stop walking?
No.
I have everybody is on jua ni kali sitatembea. Then I go down. Those excuses, discipline says keep at it. Keep at it consistently. At the end of the year, you look back and say, I've been consistent. I love what I am seeing. I love who I have become. as opposed to having all those excuses. Oh, I didn't have this, oh, I did that. And I love what you do. You building up a channel. You don't have to wait until you're a Steve Harvey or an Oprah Winfrey with the glorious and glamorous cameras and all that stuff. Start from where you are. That to me is a bigger thumbs up. When you start from where you are, it's going to be discouraging at some point, definitely. Because you wonder, I'm doing this thing, nobody seems to take note, nobody. But I believe that consistency will get to the place where you break even. And when you get to the place of breaking even, somebody becomes unstoppable. You go and go and go.
And you have built like muscle for you to be able to sustain.
Exactly. I think the best example I can give, I have been in the ladies ministry for it's going to 11 years. I mean, when I came in, I was raw, green, completely green. I didn't know where, how, what. But I remember at that point, it was more trusting God for every step. And we would meet 10 ladies, 15 ladies. And the next month, half of those 10 will not show up. The next month. So you have problems, you can't tell anybody to be an usher, you can't tell this one to be in the choir. I think the worst hit place was in the choir because we had to get some university girls, had to like pay their fare, come, lead worship, and go back. 15 people. Today, I know you've been there. We don't struggle. Those ministries departments have set themselves because I thank God we never quit. I never quit. Were there moments I felt like quitting? There were so many. And I had justifiable reasons. Because then you're calling people, then people show up. Calling people again, come up with very good programs, then people show up. Today, we are struggling with a higher number now that we don't even overmarket them. Because now people have seen this consistency here, and people look out for, okay, I think they're doing something, but you have got to prove that over time. And that is what is called consistency.
And I love that because through that, many doors have opened for you. Many doors maybe you never thought they could have opened. They have been opened for you.
Oh God. Someone had called me somewhere to help them set up their ladies ministry, and I told them, before you start telling me we are doing very well, ask me how many times I've been quitting in my head at the formative stage. Because I think when you're forming a product, when you're trying to mold it, man, the self-talk does it for others. If I never encouraged myself, I would have quit a long time ago. A long time ago.
Wow. And God is good. And for me, it's a testimony for what God can do. And you do not have even struggle because people, they have seen your work, what you are doing, and now things are just flowing. Another thing I wish to talk about, we want to talk about like trauma, fear maybe from trauma. Maybe like the way we grew up. We grew up, like for example, our parents, they were not giving you like space to maybe to explore your talents or your gifting. They were the kind of people to shut you up. Nowadays, at least my children, they have that freedom. But us, we didn't.
We grew up, I think, in a time when there was no space for negotiation. It was the parents' way or the highway. And like personally, I say I could have become the best female footballer. He was given the space and the chance. But I'm seeing my daughter playing football, loving football, and I'm realizing, well, I wish my parents gave me that kind of backup. Because then we have got to realize we are not gifted the same way. Our giftings are different, as I said, that which God has deposited in us. They are very different. So picking it and running with it and supporting it and adding manure to it as a parent upon your child is very key. However, I always say we cannot beat our parents very hard. For them, they were doing that which they thought was the best, not just good, was the best for us. So they pushed us, no, you cannot take this career. And they had an image of mtoto wa fulani has done medicine and now they're doing very well. So I've got to streamline my daughter or my son to do the same thing, because to them you have to be a doctor to be driving, or you have to be a teacher to have a good home. Especially in the village, teachers were having the best houses, the best homes, and all that kind of stuff. So the fact is they tried to mold us, not really guide us, but push us to the direction they thought was going to be best for us. So they meant well, but unfortunately for some, it did not go very well. Speaking of traumas, within the family setup, definitely there will be those traumatizing moments. And even when people go through, even relationships, there will be those traumatizing moments, even in a relationship. But I always say, it takes time to heal,
Mm.
depending on the depth of the scar.
Yeah.
Because anyone who has gone through a major surgery
Mm.
and one who has been cut by a kitchen knife,
Mm.
you don't expect them to heal
Yeah.
at the same time.
Mm.
One will take longer. One, for the kitchen knife cut, the scar may even disappear, but the surgery leaves you with a scar
Yes.
that constantly reminds you something happened here.
Mm.
It left you damaged, it left you hurt, it left your emotions there. But the beauty is, even with the scar, there's healing.
Yeah.
But the healing takes long. And you have to give yourself time. Let's jump even to relationships that I love to talk about. I would not encourage anyone who has gone through the shocks and the traumas in a relation from one relationship to jump into another. Umeachwa na jamaa, alikuwa amekwambia atakuoa, amekuacha kwa mataa. It's painful, it's traumatizing, but give yourself time to heal. Because then if you go immediately and jump into another relationship, 80% is that you make bigger mistakes because you'll be judging from the heart and the pain that you have. So it's good to give yourself time to heal. You need to speak to someone about it. There are counselors out here. You can seek their wisdom. They'll get to guide you and tell you, this is how you heal over it. And some of those traumas, they're so bad because I've seen people carrying them even into their marriage. There's a lady one time, she was got married and she could not allow the husband to bathe their daughter. The husband was wondering what's the problem. So they would constantly fight, quarrel, to the point it became so bad they had to seek a counselor. The beauty with these counselors, they're able to, go back to your history, how you were brought up, how was your upbringing, has anything ever happened? And immediately the girl remembered, I saw my dad mishandling, let me use the word mishandling, our sister. And my sister was helpless. And she was hurting. And so to her, it remained that if a child is handled by a man, they are more likely to hurt that child. That's the image she was left with. That's why she could not allow the husband to bathe their daughter. So it's good to also, when you have to seek now the counsel from the experts, please go ahead and don't feel guilty about it. It's very much okay.
Wow. Yeah, and then the other one, fear of perception. Fear of perception.
Fear of perception, fear of unknown. You simply think that something bad will happen. Even before it has happened. You come across a swimming pool and you're like, I might drown. Hata hujaanza kuogelea, hujaingiza mguu ndani. Those are the bad fears we are talking about. Because unless you try something, I think that is also triggered by fear of failure. Because people think, suppose I try and it doesn't work. We've tried so many things. I was listening to Steve Harvey the other day and he said, the things that have succeeded are fewer than those that have failed in his life. But we see him, he has achieved so much, we celebrate his victories, and he said, no. I have failed more times. The beauty is, I never gave up. I never allowed my failures to deter me from making adjustments. He says, the only thing you need to do, I have failed, learn from it, make another step. So that perceived fear sometimes paralyzes you because you're working with, suppose, but you've not tried to see if this thing works. Yes. So there's no harm in trying as long as you're not going to kill somebody. I mean, let me try it. It doesn't work. I'm fine. I feel bad about it. But then learn and progress. And even John Maxwell says the same thing. That unless you allow yourself space to fail, then you have no capacity to say that you have succeeded because you succeeding against what? You've not attempted anything.
You have to try, you fail, until you succeed.
I have read several names. I think the names that I cannot really put it, but they say one of them was saying, I was reading, they have tried 20-something businesses and only 3 are now thriving.
Imagine.
And those 3 have brought them into the limelight to the world, that the world can appreciate their product. Even the big people, the Amazons and all that, man, those people, I'm sure they have tried several things. But the fact is, I feel like this is not going to work. Brush the fear, suppress the fear, try it.
And move on. And go try other things. Wow. Okay, so I think that was a really good discussion. Because fear it is a setback.
Completely.
It is a setback.
Completely.
It can paralyze you from reaching your goals. And you will not have known if you could have made it if you tried. That's a good discussion. So I don't know whether you have something to add on that.
No, I think we need to do this again.
Yes, and I don't know whether she told you she's a kick matron.
Yes.
Yes, maybe you can.
Kick matron,
Mm.
MC.
Mm.
You call me.
Mm.
I'm just a phone call away.
Mm.
I'll come right now.
Mm. Wow, thank you. So, guys, thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe and like.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Bye.